2019 Fall Benchmark, 8th grade science. Number 1, serotonin is a chemical substance that acts as a neurotransmitter. It helps relay messages in the human brain. The formula for 1 molecule of serotonin is shown below. How many atoms in all are in a molecule of serotonin? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. Number 2, a bicycle rider is traveling up a hill. When the rider reaches the top of the hill, she stops to rest. Then she travels down the hill. The diagram shows the rider in 3 different positions. Which of these correctly describes the potential energy and the kinetic energy of the bicycle rider? When the rider is at the top of the hill, her potential energy is the greatest and her kinetic energy is the least. As the rider moves up the hill, her kinetic energy increases and her potential energy decreases. When the rider goes down the hill, her potential energy increases and her kinetic energy decreases. As the rider reaches the bottom of the hill, her kinetic energy and her potential energy decrease. Number 3, a marble is given potential energy by being placed at location W. When the marble is released, it rolls down the track. At which location does the marble have maximum kinetic energy? Location W, X, Y, or Z. Number 4, a meteor moving 468 kilometers per minute, traveling in a south to north direction, passed near Earth in 2013. Because the meteor was only 45 meters wide and was 27,700 kilometers above Earth's surface, it was not visible without the aid of a telescope. Which statement describes the meteor's motion? Its velocity was 7.8 kilometers per second northward. Its acceleration was 468 kilometers per square second. Its speed was 468 kilometers per second northward. Its acceleration was 7.8 kilometers per square second. Number 5. The table shows the chemical formulas for 4 substances. Substance 1 and the chemical formula, substance 2, 3, 4, and its chemical formulas. Which substances have the same number of carbon atoms? Substances 1 and 2, substances 2, 3, and 4, substances 2 and 3 only, substances 1 and 3. Number 6, which chemical reaction involves the fewest oxygen atoms? Number 7, how many valence electrons are in an atom of each element in group 15 in the periodic table? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. Number 8, students were asked to identify the location of elements in the periodic table based on clues printed on game cards. Element 1, shiny black solid, metalloid, 3 valence electrons, 2 energy levels. Element 2, steel gray solid, brittle metalloid, 5 valence electrons, 4 energy levels. Element 3, colorless gas, nonmetal, 8 maybe, valence electrons, 5 energy levels. Element 4, silvery white solid, soft metal, 2 valence electrons, 6 energy levels. Based on the data, which periodic table shows the correct location of the 4 elements? So you see elements 1, 2, 3, and 4 placed on the periodic table in different locations. Number 9. Sometimes tectonic plates do not move easily past one another, and the plates become stuck. Forces build up, and when the plates finally move, tension is released, as shown below. Seismic waves, plates, epicenter. The sudden movement of the plates is caused by the mass of the plates, the weight of the plates, unbalanced forces, gravitational force. Number 10, 2 students are working together to build a birdhouse. Student 1 applies a force of 10 newtons to a wooden board in order to slide it across the table to student 2. If the force of friction resisting the student's push is 4 newtons, what is the net force acting on the board? If the force of friction resisting the student's push is 4 newtons, what is the net force acting on the board? 4 newtons, 6 newtons, 10 newtons, 14 newtons. Number 11, the 3 vehicles shown below are all traveling at a speed of 15 miles per second, but only the pickup truck has a changing velocity. The pickup truck has a changing velocity because the pickup truck can accelerate faster than the other 2 vehicles, is traveling in the opposite direction from the other 2 vehicles, is traveling on a curve in the road, needs a large amount of force to move. Number 12, 2 cars with different masses travel at the same speed down a hill toward a stop sign. What will happen when both cars apply brakes at the same time to stop? The car with the smaller mass will require less force to stop than the car with the larger mass. The car with the larger mass will maintain its velocity while traveling down the hill. The car with the smaller mass will take longer to stop than the car with the larger mass. The car with the larger mass will have less inertia than the car with the smaller mass. Okay, number 13. The diagram below shows a hot air balloon rising. Propane gas tanks are seen at the bottom of the balloon. Flame, propane gas. What energy transformations occur when propane gas is used to lift the balloon? Mechanical, light, chemical, chemical, mechanical, thermal, thermal, chemical, light, chemical, thermal, mechanical. Number 14. A teacher rubbed a match against a piece of sandpaper. The match started to burn. Which statement best describes the energy changes that occurred? The chemical energy stored in the match changed to thermal energy and light energy. The thermal energy stored in the match changed to light energy and chemical energy. The light energy and thermal energy stored in the match changed to mechanical energy. The light energy and thermal energy stored in the match changed to chemical energy. Number 15. A bus travels 20 kilometers in 30 minutes. What is the average speed of the bus? 20, 30, 40, 50. Number 16. A student walks 2 kilometers in 30 minutes. What is the student's average speed in kilometers per hour? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on your answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. Number 17. The graph below shows the motion of a ball rolling on a straight track. Motion of a ball, distance, meters, time, seconds. What was the ball's average speed during the time represented in the graph? Number 18. A student kicks a soccer ball 3 times. Another student records the distance, the amount of time the ball travels, and the average speed in the table shown below. Soccer ball data. Kick, the distance, the time, and the average speed. How many seconds did it take for the ball to travel 30 meters during kick 3? 0.5 seconds, 1 second, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. Number 19. A manufacturer selected a metal to use in producing a lightweight button for clothing. A metal that has a density of 2.71 grams per cubic centimeter was selected. Metal data. Metal, the mass, and the volume. So metal 1 has a 22.1 mass and a 3 volume. 2 has a 42 and a 4. 3 has 9.32 and 5. 4, 8.13 and 3. Which of the metals was selected? Metal 1, metal 2, 3, 4. Number 20. A balance and a graduated cylinder are used to determine the density of a mineral sample. The sample has a mass of 14.7 grams and a volume of 2.2 cubic centimeters. What is the density of the mineral sample? Number 21. Some students conducted a laboratory investigation to learn more about the physical properties of different elements. They observed 4 samples and recorded their observations in the table below. Properties of 4 elements. Sample, appearance, physical properties. Sample 1. Dull yellow powdery solid smells like eggs broken by hammer. Sample 2. Silvery gray solid shaped into a bar dented by hammer. Sample 3. Reddish brown shiny solid shaped into a wire can be stretched dented by hammer. Sample 4. Silvery gray solid small round pellets flattened by hammer. Based on these observations, which sample is most likely a non-metal? Sample 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 22. Aluminum, sulfur, and chlorine are elements found on the periodic table. Tests involving these 3 elements would show that at normal room temperature, sulfur is malleable and aluminum conducts electricity. Chlorine is malleable and conducts electricity. Aluminum is malleable and conducts electricity. All 3 elements are malleable and conduct electricity. Number 23. The image shows a plate boundary. Arrows have been added to indicate the movement of the plates. What plate boundary feature is also shown? A ridge formed by an inactive convergent boundary, a valley forming at an active divergent boundary, a fault forming at an active transform boundary, a volcano formed by an active transform boundary. Number 24. The diagram below shows a model of the movement of 2 tectonic plates. When the plates collide, one plate often moves below the other plate. Oceanic crust. oceanic crust, continental crust. The rising magma that can result from this type of plate movement may produce fossil layers, volcanic islands, deep sea sediment, seafloor spreading. The model below shows two continental plates. Folded mountains, continent, continent. The folded mountains in this model form at which type of plate boundary? Transform boundary, divergent boundary, subduction boundary, convergent boundary. Number 26. Scientists recently discovered that rocks collected from the Franklin Mountain in West Texas and rocks collected from the mountains in eastern Antarctica were actually the same age. Further research showed that the rocks were chemically and geologically the same and came from the same magma source. This discovery provides evidence of coastal erosion, plate tectonics, ocean currents, glacial melting. Number 27. The diagram below shows two different forces acting on a cyclist riding a bicycle. The force of the air, 84 newtons. The force applied, 150 newtons. The total mass of the cyclist and the bicycle is 100 kilograms. Based on this information, what is the acceleration of the cyclist? 0.66. Backward, because the force of the air slows the cyclist down. 0.66 forward, because the applied force is greater than the force of air. 2.3 backward, because the forces are opposite and not equal. 2.3 forward, because the cyclist's inertia is greater than the force of the air. Okay, number 28. The masses of four vehicles and the net forces acting on them as they enter a highway are recorded in the table below. Vehicles entering a highway, vehicle, sedan, mass, 1,500, force, 4,500. Coupe, SUV, and truck with the mass and their force. Which vehicle has the greatest acceleration as it enters the highway? Sedan, coupe, SUV, truck. Number 29. The diagram shows a homemade car being pushed with a force of 25 newtons. Force, 25 newtons, motion of car. The force causes the car to move at a constant speed of 3 meters per second. What will happen if the force is changed to 35 newtons? The car will move at a constant speed of 13 meters per second. The speed of the car will not change. The speed of the car will increase. The speed of the car will decrease to 1 meters per second. Number 30. 4 students push carts filled with sports equipment across the gym. Each student pushes with the same amount of force. Which cart has the greatest change in speed? 12 tennis rackets with mass equaling 10. 15 sports ball with the mass equaling 15. 18 exercise mats with the mass equaling 20. 28 pieces of rope with a mass equaling 25. Number 31. Deep Space One was a spacecraft powered by an engine that gave off xenon particles to change velocity. It had a mass of 500 kilograms. which expression can be used to find the spacecraft's acceleration if its engine created a net force of 0.10 newtons? Point 0.10 newtons divided by 500. 500 times 0.10 newtons. 500 divided by 0.10 newton. 500 plus 0.10 newtons. Number 32. A basketball with a mass of 0.60 kilograms is accelerated with a force of 10.8 newtons. If resisting forces are ignored, what is the acceleration of the basketball to the nearest meter per square second? Record your answer and fill in the bubbles on the answer document. Be sure to use the correct place value. Number 33. Nitrogen dioxide is a gas that can be generated by emissions from vehicles and factories. It can also be generated by natural sources such as forest fires, lightning, and microbial activity in soil. The equation for producing nitrogen dioxide is shown below. Colorless gas plus colorless gas yields brown gas. Which of these provides evidence that a chemical reaction occurs? A gas is present. The total number of atoms remains unchanged. The state of matter remains the same. A brown gas is produced. Number 34. As part of an investigation, students combined substances in a beaker to observe chemical reactions. They performed two procedures. They measured the mass of each substance before and after each reaction. The table shows their observations. Mass of reactants, mass of products. Procedure 1, Procedure 2. Assuming the students did not make any careless errors, what likely explains these changes in mass? Procedure 1, all the reactants were liquids that evaporated. Procedure 2, a gas was formed as one product and it escaped into the air. Procedure 1, one of the reactants was converted to thermal energy. All the products were liquids in Procedure 2. Procedure 1, the reactants were liquids with different densities. Procedure 2, the reactants were combined into only one product. Procedure 1, one of the products was a gas that escaped into the air. Procedure 2, a gas from the air reacted with one of the other reactants. Number 35, for an investigation, a student poured a blue solution of CuSO into a beaker. The student's CuSO placed a shiny, silvery colored strip of zinc metal in the solution and observed the changes. Observations of an investigation: blue solution, zinc in blue solution, zinc in clear solution. The student inferred that a chemical reaction occurred. What evidence supports this inference? A dark solid formed on the zinc metal. The zinc metal remains silver colored and shiny. The CuSO4 solution turned blue when the zinc metal was added. None of these. Number 36. Which two elements on the periodic table are in the same period? Number 37. Element R and element Q have the same number of valence electrons. These elements both have similar chemical behavior, but chemical R has fewer energy levels than element Q. So element R, element Q. Which statement best describes the positions of the two elements in the periodic table? The two elements are in the same period, with element R, the first element in the period, and element Q, the last element. The two elements are side by side in the same period, with element Q to the left of element R. The two elements are in the same group, with element R just above element Q. The two elements are in the same group, with element Q at the top of the group and element R at the bottom. Number 38. A student is studying the ways different elements are similar to one another. Diagrams of atoms from 4 different elements are shown below. Atom 1, atom 2, atom 3, atom 4. Which two atoms are of elements in the same group in the periodic table? Atom 1 and 2, atom 1 and 4, atom 2 and atom 3, atom 3 and atom 4. Number 39. The periodic table is organized into groups and periods of elements. The characteristics of a certain group of elements are listed below. Characteristics of a group of elements: is shiny, is solid at room temperature, has atoms with 2 valence electrons. Which of these elements is in this group? Lithium, strontium, aluminum, silicon. Number 40. 4 students were asked to name the parts of an atom that determine the atom's identity and chemical properties. The students' responses are shown in the table below. Student responses: student, part of atom that determines identity, part of atom that determines chemical properties. Student 1, neutrons, electron cloud. Student 2, protons, valence electrons. Student 3, valence electrons, protons. Student 4, electron cloud, neutrons. Which students' responses are correct? Student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4. Number 41. A model of an atom is shown below. Nucleus. An atom of which element is represented by this model? Boron, carbon, neon, sodium. Number 42. A chemist is identifying the elements present in a sample of seawater. What characteristic of an element's atoms always determines the element's identity? The number of protons, the number of neutrons, the location of valence electrons, the number of valence electrons.